We are live coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we're joined by Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we're also joined by Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight?
What up? What up?
And we are here, episode 7 recap show. We're here, episode 7. I would almost say, are we close to the halfway point?
Hope so.
I mean, I kind of get those vibes. But here we are, episode 7. Initial thoughts. Alex, what do you got?
I like tonight's episode. I think it was good. I think it was similar to last week's. I feel like we are firmly in like the middle stretch. I think it was good. I think it planted a lot of seeds for like stuff to come. You know, you talk about Era 3, Corey kind of getting mad that he's getting screwed over, Devin not nominating, Ginny kind of is similar vibes in Era 4. You had some of the bananas and Ryan stuff. So like this episode, I don't think there was a lot of like bang type of moments. It kind of played to the script mostly, but I do think it was still entertaining, and I think it kind of laid the groundwork for some future storylines.
Andy, welcome back. Where
Thank
were you? Were you on Fresh Meat 3? Like, I see some of the chat saying that. I know Fezzi was linked to Fresh Meat 3. Did he send your ass home already?
Come on.
I know we can't really spoil, but is that where you were?
There was an eating challenge. It required vegetables, so he quit. No, I was across the pond. I was shooting Fresh Meat 3. I'm not allowed to talk about it any more than that, though. But you can't really tell, but because I'm wearing a dark shirt. But I came home feeling pretty good about myself. Before I dive into tonight's episode, I do want to just touch on last week's a little bit because I was out. Really, I don't have much else to say about last week, but what I do want to say is just a tip of the cap to you two, because I watched the episode first and then I watched Stir the Pod, and I kid you not, there were at least like 5 or 6 occasions when I was watching and I was like, oh, or is this Mario Party? Or like, oh, did Corey just say he's known this person for 24 years? Like, there were just so many little subtle things like that where I was like, God, I wish I would have been able to talk about that and then get on and watch you Havies, and you nailed it. You nailed it. Today's episode I thought was pretty average. I would say personally, I think it's my least favorite of the season so far, which is more a nod to how good this season's been as opposed to how bad this episode is. My only concern is I also thought last week's was pretty ho-hum as well. And we're starting to hit that, hopefully, Trev, to your point, that mid-season lull. We're starting to like kind of stay stagnant, maybe go down a little bit. I hope we bring it back. And I hope we get some big changes as a result. We'll get into all of it, but I didn't hate it, but I need some more.
I think, to both of your guys' points, I think tonight was the worst episode of the season. Personally, that was just my thoughts. Worst episode of the season, and I'm a little worried, like Andy said, that we are possibly going downhill now. We're close. We're close. I'm not saying we are yet.
Yes. I do think like because the shot is I see like Mikey the doctor. The good news is, and I'm going to knock on wood, I don't think we can ever get back to how bad it was last year. No. By like episode 7 of last year, I was ready to jump off my roof, like full Kermit gif. Like it was just like, it was awful. So I still feel good about where the season's at, but it's not trending in the right direction.
Correct. So let's just dive right in. Oh, Alex, you got something?
No, I was just going to say, I agree. I think the overall quality of the first, is this episode 7?
Yeah.
The first 7 episodes is so high that like, at least for now, for this week and last week, it can kind of withstand a slight decline. But like we need to monitor that, and we need to make sure it does not go down a whole lot further than this.
Why does this always happen to your audio for like the first 6 minutes?
God, you know what I think we need to get us out of this? ... A good old BK sponsor for next TV.
Ooh,
Either
honestly,
BK or Puss in Boots.
honestly, I don't know if you guys saw, but did you see the sponsorship that is happening between a fast food place and a Nickelodeon TV show, which could have a crossover on here because Paramount and Nickelodeon, same company. Could
Oh
you
my
imagine it?
God.
Could you imagine if we see Wendy's Krabby Patties on the show?
But surely, the challenge has been BK
I
for...
know. But SpongeBob throws another wrench into it because it is under that whole parent window.
So you think like potentially the next daily they could say, bananas, you've devoted 20 years of your life into this show. You've won 7 challenges. You just won this daily. So here's a Krabby Patty.
Yes. I mean, honestly, like the villain deserves the Krabby Patty. It's like Plankton. He devoted 20 years of that TV show to steal the secret formula, and here he is finally getting his chance. But
I can just see like a Johnny Bananas confessional, and then they bring in Plankton like they did for Puss in Boots, and then they have a conversation to each other.
it's like SpongeBob on his left shoulder, Plankton on his right. The devil. God. So good. All right, let's dive right in. Opening thoughts. Or I guess streak. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, I was reading something. Streak. I know, Andy, I know you weren't here last week, but I think we're on episode 3 in a row for our streak. Andy.
Yep.
So your streak, it's just great.
My streak's hot.
So, all right. Alex, anything you want to say about Andy's streak?
No, my streak's going good.
What's your streak?
My streak is the streak that invented the streak.
What? I'm a little lost. Is your streak, if Andy's streak happens, that's your streak? So it's like a dream within a dream?
All right, let's go.
That's kind of a chalk EE pick, but it's all good. All right. So then we go into Devin's birthday, which honestly, if I lived in that challenge house, had no cell phones and stuff, I don't know how I would know what day of the week it is and the date and stuff. I think my birthday would honestly pass.
True. That could be something the producers say, but it would just be so smirky if they just got it wrong and they just like 2 days early or something like that.
This intern is just looking. Yeah, I think it's June 7th. It's really like June 10th or something.
Or it could be like the Office birthday episode when they're just like, hey, we need to have a birthday party. Whose birthday's coming up? It's like, oh, Meredith's is in a month. Like, oh, Devin's is in a month. Let's just throw a party.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't hate that idea. They're like, BME's like, hey, we need about like 7 minutes of filler time for this episode. Let's just throw a birthday party. I don't hate that.
Well, so I was thinking, like, what is the challenge, like for this cast, let's say specifically, what is the threshold in terms of like, we're going to give you a birthday party and we're going to make like a whole segment of the episode about this? Because like we've seen Bananas, maybe he had his 40th birthday. We've seen a few other birthday parties before, but like if Aviv had a birthday on this season, like they probably just let that day come and go, right?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
There's only like a small select number of people where there would be like, hey, let's like actually make this a thing.
Wasn't that the season a few years ago with Wes? Wasn't it his birthday and he got slapped by Banana so hard? Like Wes had to slap him back or something, or maybe I have it vice versa or something.
I think that was Rivals 3. I think it was maybe some deleted scenes.
I think that was very reunion-esque.
Yes.
Yes. Which, honestly, guys, the Rivals 3 reunion show is one of the best reunion shows we've ever seen. Like, I think I rewatched that a few weeks ago. It's so funny.
I'm obsessed with that. I do like the Aviv birthday, though, because then it keeps falling in line with the Office thing. It's kind of like how it was Toby's birthday all along.
Yes, exactly.
But why would they be celebrating Aviv's birthday? She hasn't been on the show in 20 years. All right, moving on. Or anything else from Devin's birthday? I mean, it was just a casual birthday. I mean, you had Ryan dancing on the tables. You had who else was going nuts?
Derek,
was that Cara dressed up doing kind of like a impersonation? Same with Tori. Like, it was fun to see like a normal setting. Banana smashing the cake. I mean, that was minus 1,000. That was going to happen. Banana smashing the cake in Devin's face. But
it was all right. I was just kind of casually watching the show, and then next thing you know, I have two hairy men's asses right in my face as they're walking towards Devin, and I was just like, how did we get here? But it seemed fun. I think for any party, for any club, I would always promote more drinking out of these clowns because we didn't really get much drama, and that's what these scenes are supposed to do.
Andy, I want to ask you, we talk about drinking and fighting and all that stuff. Last week, there was a scene with Michelle where she was like, oh, there was this big fight between Devin and Bananas. And then they just cut right to.
It's all this and that's the problem when you have an eras, you have people who are probably in their late 20s, mid to early 30s, people who are actually responsible. Fuck that. I want people who are 22, 23, 24. They get drunk. If they're mad about something, they're immediately in somebody else's face trying to fight. I mean, it's just, we miss out on that because when Devin got that mad, I was literally thinking oh, here we go. It's round 2 of when Devin chased Bananas around the entire house, from seasons back when Bananas was talking about his dad. And it was literally just an all-night thing. And then he just goes to bed. It's that's not what we do it for.
Yeah, I feel like in this type of episode format, the party always plays much better after the daily because there's a lot of, people politicking, trying to be safe, and then that's where a lot of the drama comes in. It was a birthday party, so it was more of a feel-good type thing. So I wasn't too surprising that not a lot of good content came out of this.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the challenge. I mean, I feel like this is something we've never seen before in a challenge where, they jump off something, grab something, pull them up, and then solve a puzzle. We surely have never seen that before, right?
First time
ever. What did we think about this challenge, especially the time penalties and all this crap? And I don't know. I feel like there was so much. I almost feel like what they should have done was one person should have just ran and grabbed all 4.
I don't think you were allowed to.
Yeah, but you would have just got a time penalty. Because if you grab 2, remember, somebody grabbed 2 by accident. Grab all 4 so only one person jumps and take the penalty.
I don't hate that move.
Yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty weak daily. I think no matter what you do, this is going to be not an awesome daily. I think it would have been better if this was one of the first challenges as big teams and everybody has to jump or something like that. To me, it didn't seem fair that Era 1, because they're so depleted, everybody had to jump and then only one person could solve the puzzle. I think you do this early on where the teams are more even. All teams are still pretty big. There's a lot of people on them. And it's just kind of a fun sort of, setting. They show us Vietnam, we know where the season's at and all of that. To do this in episode 7, I thought was kind of a weird choice. And then they added, like we said, a lot of the time penalties. And if you grab this flag, but not this flag, just make it something where there's 10 flags. They all jump. They try to grab as many of them as they can. And there's no there's not all these rules. There's not all these dividing up of the team. I think no matter what, the best version of this daily isn't awesome, but I think it could have been a lot better than this.
Yeah. I almost wish, and this is always a classic Rivals challenge, is the one where they jump into their partner's arms.
Yes.
I love that one. I almost wish they would have done that instead. Just have somebody dangling above and do it that way.
I like that.
I ain't mad at that.
The damn puzzles. I mean, like, how many puzzles do we? Why is everything a goddamn puzzle?
You've always puzzles was on your Mount Rushmore of things you loved about the challenge,
Watch it.
along with the MTV app
Relax.
and
RIP.
to be continued episodes.
Doesn't the MTV app no longer exist?
yes.
It's RIP. Which the MTV app became Paramount Plus, which was actually huge. So I think it aged the best.
No.
But God, McCord, yes, literally, the delay is that bad. Anything else from this daily? Like,
We have to talk about Josh's fat ass.
What did they call him? Pulling him up? An elephant?
Theo
Elephant.
said Josh must have caught an elephant on the way down.
Jesus Christ.
And Pix ZB calls him a hungry hippo. Hungry hippo. And that was a strong team. Like physically strong. You had Theo and Jenny and Casey, and Josh was probably thinking, all right, this is it. This is how I go out.
How long did it take? Did it really take them 18 minutes to pull him up?
Was there a timer?
Yeah, there was a timer for a little bit. Somebody in the chat, let me know. I'm almost positive when Josh was brought up, it was like 18 minutes on the clock.
Wow. No, other than that, I mean, it didn't do much for me. Pretty weak.
It just wasn't great.
I will say 2 moments that I liked. Darrell actually jumping. It was good to see. And Naya actually jumping. Because both of them are like terrified of heights. I almost wish Kara would have jumped. I think Kara hates jump of heights too. So I wish we could have gotten everybody who hates heights to go. But
don't sleep on Viva Aviv. She's tiny.
She kind of sounds tiny.
She kind of gave me vibes of Ra's al Ghul in Dark Knight Rises.
The
You
kid?
have to make the jump, but it's like this is impossible, and you just have to go and just.
Honestly, if you go rewatch that scene of it's hilarious. It's like she jumps and then she gets like an extra boost, almost like a Mario Party, like the little
Norman G double jump. The higher level guys would understand.
I know. God, she was like jumping for a secret block or something. It was insane. Dark star.
All right, what else you got?
God. So the order that they finished was Era 3 won it. And then in last place was Era 4. So Kylan and Michelle going straight into elimination, and Jordan and Naya picking up the dub. So not much else there. Then we go to the club. Anything important happened back in the club? Go ahead, Andy.
No. I honestly didn't even realize they went to the club. They went to the club?
Yeah, I think they went for like a hot set.
It was very quick.
See, that's what's dumb about these pussies. And it's what's wrong with just today's culture. What happened to binge drinking? What happened to binge drinking?
Where did that come from?
The only thing I can remember from the club tonight was Devin taking drink orders from Tina and Michelle, and Tina wanted an Aperol spritz, and then Tina and Michelle turned to each other and they said, "Oh, he's a good man." That was it.
That right there was the highlight of the club. I'm out on the club.
God. So moving on, after the club, we go into voting. I think I butchered this name every time. What is this interrogation room called? The deliberation floor?
I think it's called the cockpit.
I think it's I think it's just deliberation.
I thought there's like an actual like.
Oh, it's the chamber. It's the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the chamber. So the chamber, you have Jordan and Naya talking. Who are they going to vote in? Are they going to go? Who was era 2? Aviv and Nehemiah,
Yes.
and then in era 3 was the people who got voted in, which was why am I blanking? Era 1. Sorry, Darrell and what's her name? Who
Tina.
went? Tina. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing it tonight. Which, to be honest, I feel like this is the easiest pick. Like, why would you not keep Era 1? Like, they're going to finish last. They're not going to win a daily. And honestly, between those 4 people remaining, Rachel's the only one that can win a final.
Derek?
Derek has 1 leg. Remember, he broke it last episode.
He did have a peg leg. He was already ready for the SpongeBob episode.
I think this chamber scene was also one of the weakest of the season. There wasn't a whole lot of drama. There was a lot of kumbaya, and like strategically, it made sense to keep Era 1 around. I think the only thing was Naya was close to Nehemiah, which my question is, how are they friends? Have they ever done a season together? How are they so close?
I have no idea. They must have done a season, or I don't think they've done a season together.
I don't think they have, but I could be wrong.
God. Did they do All-Stars together? All-Stars 3?
Maybe.
I think they did.
I think Naya's done 1 All-Stars.
And I think she was on that season.
Were they kind of hooking up at the start? Wasn't Naya getting with Kylan, my man, and someone else initially?
Yeah, the goof.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah,
that kind of stopped after episode 1.
Didn't he cry?
God.
Didn't he cry and he made Tori cry because of that?
Honestly,
doesn't
we are
sound
slacking.
He said, I don't love you, but I do love you.
We are slacking on Josh cries this season. Like, I think we've only have 1.
Did last episode's count?
Which cry?
It was a flashback scene of Josh crying.
No.
No flashback.
It's a cry within a cry.
Oh, come on. So, Alex, I'll start with you. Do you think this was the right move to throw in Era 1?
No. I think they should have gone for Era 2. Era 2 is a good team that at this point still has 7 players left.
Mm-hmm.
And Nehemiah is a good competitor. He beat CT like 2 weeks ago. Like, why not try to get rid of him? And then, like, getting rid of Aviv isn't necessarily like amazing, even though she is kind of fun and kind of good. But then if you get rid of Aviv, every single episode you have either Kara or Laurel as a target. So I just think it came down to like them not wanting to send their own friends in, which I get it. It makes sense. But I think like era 1 is doing nothing. They haven't done a thing this whole season. Keep them in. Keep the layup around. Keep Jay and Jenna on X's 2 in as long as you can. That's just like the classic challenge thing. So I understand why they did what they did, but I think it was just the wrong choice.
Andy, your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. This is the back-to-back second episode where they picked the wrong team to go in, because the fact that Bananas dodged the killing floor last week was just chef's kiss of Bananas doing Bananas things. But yeah, I don't know how you don't keep Era 1 along. Like, it'd be one thing if it was, I don't even know like who you could say like we want to get these people out because they're a threat. Era 1 hasn't been a threat all season. So I think it's a big mistake.
What do you guys think about first time? And I thought this is where Andy was going, but back-to-back episodes where they tell the opposing team who's going into elimination before going into the elimination zone. Do we like that or not?
I don't really like it, just because like this was an episode tonight where I wasn't exactly sure which direction they were going. Like last week, you could tell Josh was just giving in to the bananas thing and like gonna save him. This one, I didn't know exactly where they were going, so I would have been more intrigued seeing it all go down at the killing floor, I think is what we're calling it. So like them going in and kind of spoiling it wasn't that interesting.
I think I honestly like if you're in the challenge and viewing it from like a competitor's perspective, I think it's the right thing to do. From an entertainment perspective, it sucks. Like I want the big reveal right before they're about to go in. So I wish they would save it, but what can you do?
Looks like we got TJ Lavin in the chat. He disagrees with us. I mean,
Legend.
Teach.
Good to have him back, friend of the program.
Very true. Very true. What do we think about the whole Tina blow up?
Mamma mia.
Alex, anything?
She got her one last little moment in. It was fun. I mean, I know it's kind of skipping ahead to elimination. I'm glad Tina was on this season.
No,
I think she's a very fun addition to this cast. I think she has a good attitude where like think about a few weeks ago when her and CT kind of went at it, but then like right away they were both able to be like, all right, this is stupid. Let's stop yelling. Whereas like Josh and Tori would still be talking about it. I think she was just a good Arrow. You have to fill out the Arrow 1 cast. Anissa was a terrible person to have on the show. Tina was like a fun addition to Arrow 1 in this cast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had Tina the highest of all three of us, and I'm pretty sure I nailed exactly when she was going to go home.
Spoilers. I just wish Tina's blow up was, and this might go with Andy, what he's been saying all tonight. I wish it was more, and I wish alcohol was more in play. And like, I love kind of the classic, like, people can't sleep for 12 hours. Like, they're going psycho. Almost like if you were in, like, Napoli for 12 hours and you're scared for your life. Like, moments like that is what I need. CT had a good one long ago with Wes, like, in his face, screaming at him the entire time. Like, I wish that came out of Tina because, like, moments like that are awesome. And we haven't had that blow up in a while.
She would be the Vietnamese Camilla.
Yeah.
Minus a few choice words, but it would be so fun to watch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mikey the Doctor's coming for me right now saying Trev had Derek the lowest and he's the last guy left on Era 1. People forget, I had him eliminated EP1. But I know Mikey the Doctor. I know you're a challenge maniac. Whatever. But it's all good. Like, it's fine. Spend your little $500. It's all good. So let's talk about the elimination now, right? Let's go into the elimination. Never seen this elimination before, but kind of like in a puzzle solving equations thing. I mean, what are we doing, challenge? Are we that desperate? Like, come on.
This seemed very lazy-y. Like, there didn't seem to be much thought put into it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't entertaining, really. And it was honestly fairly quick. Like, you just have to pull these polls out, do a little math equation. Could you imagine if Corey was in this?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
God.
What would get done first? Corey, I think this is a serious question.
Corey
completing this math equation first, or Anissa completing the pig roast?
I think if Corey
Both
had
lives
no,
are in danger.
I think if Corey had no help at all, Corey would be longer. Like if he had zero help. Actually, you know what? I don't think so because I think he would literally try like 1, 2, 3, 4. He would literally go through every single one. So I would actually take Corey in this.
So I agree, and I was kind of thinking the same route. Do you think Corey would at least be able to be like, I forget the final numbers, but I think it was like the final thing was like 600 something times 2.
Yeah.
Do you think Corey would at least be able to be like, okay, the answer is a 4-digit number. It's not going to be any more than 2,000. So the first digit has to be 1. And then I can try all the other 3 combinations after that. Do you think he would do that? Or do you think he would start?
No.
Do you think he would say, okay, the final equation is 600 something. I don't know what it is, but it's 600 something times 2. Let me start out with a 0.
I think he would start off at 0, 0, 0, 1.
I agree.
He's an idiot.
I agree.
But Anissa's shoulders were like probably even 30 seconds away from just like popping out with all that.
Let me go this route with you, Andy. Do you count if the bar breaks for her?
Oh, no, because the challenge is to go down and back.
Would that just be the end of it?
I think at some point this challenge is this competition is taking forever no matter what. But I think Anissa on the pig roast at some point loses consciousness. She's just laying there on her back, like all the blood is going down. Corey can do every single number combination. It's going to take him forever, but like he can actually do it. I think Anissa, if we're playing this game, like she would die before she finishes.
One is physically possible. One is physically impossible.
I might take Anissa in this.
You don't mean that. Just go watch. I'll never forget, aside from watching it happen, as Big T was finishing and they panned the camera over to see it, Anissa is hanging there, not like, kind of bracing herself or anything. I mean, like straight arms, just like, get me out of this. I might go rewatch that. That was incredible.
So the elimination, we had Tina versus Michelle. Michelle picks up the win. And then we had Darrell versus Kylan. And Darrell actually, talking about that elimination, Darrell beat Kylan out. And then I don't know what he was thinking about drawing in the sand. Excuse me. Like, what are you doing?
Stupid. What? And you know Kylan needs one shot at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he gets out first or second. When he puts his number in, he's going to get it. And like Darrell, like couldn't he have just yelled up the final equation? Like, this is my number times 2. Tell me what it is. I'm not as stupid as Corey, but I'm still pretty stupid. Give me the answer, somebody. Like, he has a better shot just doing put 1 as the first thing and just trying everything. At least you're like trying and like putting numbers in, as opposed to what happened where I don't even think he entered a single number, right? Like, no, beat him while he was still on his knees. Yeah.
It was not only the dumbest move I think I've ever seen, but it was so dumb that I actually thought he was throwing it. Because he didn't just stop and go down. He was like carving out so much sand, it looked like he was like playing with the fucking Zen garden. Like the little things with the little mini trees. I was like, Darrell, what are you doing? You're in the middle of an elimination and you have the lead. It was bod.
Sounds kind of bod. All right. Anything else from the eliminations? No? All right. Moving forward. So the winners obviously get to choose new targets. So our targets, Arrow 1, are just locked in for the rest of the season. I guess the year. What happens if we're only going to have like one girl or one guy or whatever? Like, that could get very interessante moving forward. But essentially, Era 1's going to stay the same with Derek and Rachel from moving forward. Then we're going to have Derek and Cara, and then Corey and Avery, and Jenny and Theo. So, Andy, I know you listened to last week's pod. We started kind of a new thing around this time. It's kind of just ranking these people in power rankings. So, looking at that list that I just said, so you got, we'll do the females first. So you got Rachel, Cara, Avery, Jenny. What's your power rankings of those four?
Ooh, that's kind of tough. I'm going to go Cara 1, Rachel 2, Jenny 3, Avery 4. Avery 3, Jenny 4.
Wow. Alex?
Well, so did we say this was like power ranking is how good these people are or who we don't want to lose?
I thought it was power rankings. Did I already mess up the segment from last week?
No, I think that's right, but I'll just explain my thought process, and that should help kind of shed some light on if I'm in left field or not. I'm thinking strictly on who I think has the greatest chance of winning and coming back versus who has the lowest. Because I'm thinking like an elimination, all these eliminations for the most part require some sort of knowledge, thinking, puzzles, etc. That's why I have Jenny as last, because I think she's an idiot.
You know what I'm thinking now, Alex? Correct me if I'm wrong. This wasn't the segment. The segment was if Cara wins, who she's saving, right?
If Cara
were to win the daily, who is she saving out of those three?
Yeah, I don't really remember this segment.
I thought we did power rankings, but we definitely did it like that. But I mean, that's just classic me. But power rankings for the guy, or Alex first for the females. What would you say? Would you agree with Andy, or would you flip flop?
I'm gonna rank my females differently. I'm gonna go by just females that I don't want to lose.
Okay.
And so I think where I stand is because I've been thinking about this kind of between every single episode. The female that I think we're okay with losing the most out of these targets is Avery. I mean, I know she's amazing to look at, but we also can find all of her pictures online or in a Hooters calendar. I don't want to lose Rachel just because, like, I don't know what the fuck that would mean for this, like, team in this era and this format. And then Cara and Jenny are both fucking awesome. So, like, I mean, and it makes sense. Like, we're getting down to episode 8 next week. Like, we've trimmed a lot of the fat, and we're not going to want to lose a lot of people anymore. But I guess I would say Avery is last. For the guys, who is it? Derek, Corey, and Theo.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's pretty easy. I would love to see Derek go home. And if not, I would like to see Derek go home.
Come on.
Corey and Theo are both just like good, fun challengers to have on screen. And like Derek on Era 2 hasn't done anything all season. And Derek on Era 1 has like half a leg.
And half a brain.
That's kind of where I stand.
Andy?
I'm going to stick to my ranking system. So I'm going to go Theo, Derek Kaczynski, Corey, Gay Derek.
Is anybody else just rooting for Corey this season? Like, I think I'm all in on Corey this season.
I kind of like
Hell no. Corey's a little baby back bitch.
Whoa.
I can't stand Corey. I think you're right that he's entertained. Like, he brings something to the table, which is better than half of these idiots. But when I see him on my screen, I just feel like I get dumber. Like, I feel like it's like this guy, he's got the biggest ego in the world. He's not good. He hasn't done shit.
Mm-hmm.
The best that he's ever done was when he was with his like quote unquote cousin, Mitch. And Mitch was also a bitch. And it's just like, I'm just done with Corey. I've never liked him. The highlight of Corey was when him and Nelly T were buddies. And then once Nelly T kind of like got away from being tied to the hip, then Nelly T got better. And Corey just had more kids.
But I respect Corey for carrying that ton rock in his hand. Remember in the water during one of the finals? That rock that weighed a ton? Do you remember that during the final?
Was this someone with Camilla?
I believe so. Yeah. It was, what was that?
Invasion? Or no?
No.
Yeah, it was Invasion.
It wasn't. Yeah, yeah. Where they're in the water and he's like carrying the fucking ton. He's like, this thing weighs a ton. And he's getting like, you don't remember that? Oh.
Kind
of. Okay.
Those you two are rooting for Corey.
I'm all in on Corey.
I think he's a
I would rather have Corey win than Devin win.
yes.
I know you're a big Devin guy, Andy, but like
I do kind of like Devin's a person that I used to hate, but now I kind of like.
God,
I think I'm trying to think. Corey and Theo are probably the two guys on this season who are left who have never won who I'm rooting for.
Is who?
Corey and Theo.
God, I'm all in on both.
I mean, most of the other guys have already won before, but like I love Bananas, but like I would rather see like Corey finally get his first ring than Bananas get his 8th ring. I don't know.
He would be insufferable if he got a ring.
And I would kind of smirk at that.
Because you know he's not the kind of guy who would get a ring and then ride off into the sunset and realize, oh, guess what? I have 3 kids with, I think, 2, maybe 3 baby mamas. I just got a big check. Maybe I should try to be a father. No. Let me go win back-to-back challenge titles.
Yes. And look, I don't while I'm kind of weirdly rooting for Corey to win, I don't really like him. I know that he's an idiot. He once replied to me on Instagram and claimed that I was privileged because my first name is Alex. That's an actual thing that happened. So I mean, we are kind of rivals 4-esque, but like, and just in like a stupid challenge way, it would be fun to see him win this.
I don't actually think Corey's going to win this season because I think the season that he's going to win is the first season on Nickelodeon, Bloodlines 3. But like,
he's going to have a big alliance.
Dude, huge alliance. His kids are going to have a bigger alliance than he does. Ryder and gang are going to dominate.
I'm picturing like Corey on season 62, and he's in the elimination sand doing a puzzle elimination or a math one like this, where they're just adding numbers, and he looks up to like the audience, and it's like Ryder telling him, "This is what the final answer is," and she's like 10.
Or it could be part of the Nickelodeon Bloodlines where it's like father-daughter one, and they each have to complete a puzzle, but it's like because it's kids, it's like a kid's puzzle. So there's like a little box, and it has like a square hole and like a cylinder, and then a square and like something you put in a triangle, and you literally just have to put the pieces in. And Corey's just doing it, he can't do it, and then Ryder's over there, and she's already done, and she's like, "Let's go."
All right. Anything else from tonight's episode before we get into some segs?
So, real quick before we get into some segs, what about Bananas and Ryan?
Who?
What do we think about that little dust up?
Well, what? They haven't been on a season in how many years together? Since Island?
Yes.
I mean,
because they foreshadowed it a couple times tonight.
I think what's going to happen is Bananas is going to win an elimination, and he's going to send his ass down.
But
he's not going to be able to.
Yeah, he does. No, like he'll go up. He won't get nominated until Bananas actually does it, is what I'm saying. He can't. I get what you're saying. I get. Bananas has enough power that he'll tell the female to send.
It'll be like Laurel or something.
Yeah, it will be some. I think anytime Bananas goes down, Laurel's going to be by his side.
So Ryan's a little bitch. Because here's what drives me nuts about situations like this. Bananas is in the right. And I don't necessarily think Ryan was in the wrong to start because he just was skating by. That's fine. If that's your strategy, okay, it works. But when he starts pushing back on Bananas, and like he made a comment tonight saying like, you've just had like a silver spoon or a golden lucky spoon like shoved up your ass. You are talking to the greatest challenge competitor of all fucking time. Not only do you need to give him respect, he has earned every ounce of respect from everyone who should ever step foot on the challenge floor. So for you to say that he got something shoved up his ass and he hasn't earned this is bullshit. There's a reason he is one of one sitting at the top as the GOAT of this show. And for little bitch boy Ryan, who hasn't done a goddamn thing all episode, to get in Bananas' face, unacceptable.
Wow. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Alex, anything we want to say? Anything else?
I mean that was a great way to put it. I think it was. I liked that it actually became a storyline tonight because like Ryan and Derek have kind of flown under the radar, and I like that Bananas is kind of like singling out those two guys, or singling out, I guess, specifically Ryan, because he said maybe during the daily he was like, Derek is even keeled, like he always has a level head, and like, yeah, he might not be the strongest guy, but like he can be a good competitor at certain things, whereas Ryan is always freaking out. And I think to Andy's point, like Ryan and Derek haven't done anything wrong. Like they have alliances, they have people keeping them safe. But if you're Ryan and Bananas starts like, going at you, just say like, hey, I'm not the one making these decisions. These girls are the ones saving me. I have alliances. Like, if you want me to go in the next time, I'm not necessarily saying like I'm gonna do it, but like I don't know. Like these people have my back. I don't know what to tell you. Instead of like saying you have a silver spoon shoved up your ass. Like Bananas has taken the real world and the challenge and like made a fucking career out of it. So I don't know what exactly your point is there, buddy.
No idea. I think what Bananas should have said was just same thing he told Jordan seasons ago, earn your stripes. I don't think he's earned anything.
No.
He hasn't earned a damn thing.
So that's just me. All right, segments. What do we got tonight, Alex?
All right, first one is going to be this day in challenge history. On October 2nd, War of the Worlds 2. First off, the episode title was One Nation Under Leroy.
What?
This is coming off of the episode last week called In Pauly We Trust. So One Nation Under Leroy. This is I don't know if anybody's gonna get this. Episode 6. Ginny, who is on this season, beat which female in an elimination?
Georgia.
Good guess, but no.
Nani.
No.
Kaylee? Wasn't that a British girl's name?
Yeah, she was bad.
Her?
No.
Oh.
This girl never did another season.
Badina.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get this.
What's her name?
Nicole.
Oh, come on.
UK Nicole, who I think her challenge career highlight, wasn't Nicole the one who on trivia night they said how many seconds are in 5 minutes? And her answer was 12? Wasn't that it?
It might have been.
It was definitely her. It was something like that. Or maybe like how many seconds are in 2 minutes, and she said like 500, something absurd like that. We'll get our stat guy on it, but that's when I think of Nicole in the challenge. That's what I think of.
Any other this days or?
Yeah, this is not a trivia question, and yeah, this is the last one. But episode 13, we're talking about episode titles. Episode 13 of Final Reckoning. The episode title was "The People versus Johnny Bananas."
That's awesome.
God, we need to do this Mount Rushmore of episode titles.
Please.
Farewell, Nehemiah.
Derek goes home.
Goodbye, Darrell.
Just out of control. So lazy. All right. Next segment. Radar watch.
Let's do it.
Should I start us off?
Go ahead.
I want to address a radar watch that I've seen in the chat multiple times tonight. I think Mary W wanted our opinion of it tonight. Casey, like, what has happened to her? Like, I know she's always the rule. She always explains the rules to everybody, but like, where is she this season? Like, if she's like one of your, I don't want to say faces of the new era, where the fuck is she? Like, is she on some ban?
She sucks. She's not made for this show.
But like, I would almost think like, you know how what was that little bitch boy's name? Fezzy or something? Like, I'm surprised they don't like shove her down our throats with content. Like, I felt like they tried doing that with Fezzy and Corey a few seasons ago. Like, why are they not trying to do that with her? Because she is just like, I mean, literally, she had one scene today where it flashed across, she was like security, and this was her. It was Nom.
She has no personality. None.
Like, is she literally a robot?
She's
I am Casey. I need to watch HBO Max with my brother Kenny. Ha, ha, ha. Like, is that seriously her?
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy.
Like, I get it. She's strong. She's competitive. Go be on another show. Go like do like Ninja Warrior or some shit like that, where you literally don't even talk to the camera. You just run your little thing and that's it. The challenge is supposed to be a combination of Real World. Like, imagine Casey on Real World. Wasn't she on Big Brother?
Yeah.
She had to have been terrible on that show.
Did she win it?
No, I mean, like, from an entertainment perspective, she's not an entertaining person.
No, she's not. But
yeah, she sucks.
And that era still has 4 girls.
Yeah.
And Ginny's the target this next episode, and you would assume that it's probably going to be like Olivia maybe the week after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just I don't know. These teams, I guess it's era 2 has 4 guys left still, and era 4 has 4 girls left. Like, we need to trim the fat on both of those sides a little bit.
Well, I don't understand how Casey's dodging bullets.
I don't either. Like, she does not play Andy, to your point, she doesn't speak to anybody. So I don't know what political game she's playing. Like,
and she even made fun of Ginny, like maybe last episode or 2 episodes, when Ginny was getting all riled. I think it was last episode. Ginny was getting all riled up about like having to go in again, and then it cut to Casey, and she was kind of like looking at the camera like Jim from The Office, like it like. She's like, well, you know, all you do is you just talk about your guinea pigs and all this. You don't, talk game. Casey, who the fuck are you to be talking about game?
Wait, what the hell does Casey ever talk about that's interesting to watch on TV?
Nothing.
I don't understand how Ginny has become like the person that Era 4 is picking on when she is the best asset that team has. Like, she's like probably the one person that could like take out the Kara's, Laurel's of the world in some physical elimination, she's a beast. And I don't know what, like, I mean, she's fucking protected by the Joshes, Devins, Tories of the world. And it just makes for not fun TV.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. What about you guys? Radar watch.
I'll go with, I think she said maybe one quick thing. I'm going to go with Casey's teammate. I'm going to go with Olivia.
Ooh, great pick tonight.
Olivia, just like this whole season, like her thing has been, I'm hooking up with Theo. She beat Maurice in the Invitational, and that's really it. We're 7 episodes deep now. She hasn't done a whole lot.
I'm also going to go with Olivia's main ting, Theo. I want more Theo. I love Theo. I feel like we don't get enough of him.
Wow.
The one-eyed warrior. Theo's awesome.
I literally thought he had one eye.
Yeah, he's crazy. So what do we got? MVP, LVP time?
Yeah.
Well, chat, you guys know what to do. MVP, LVP time. First response we get tonight will be our order of MVP, LVP. Kind of a tough episode for MVP. I'm not gonna lie, but
I agree. I've got some very good LVPs I like, but not many MVPs.
I don't really like the MVP list tonight. Do we go with Mikey the Doctor with the order? Andy, Alex, Trev. So Andy, kicking us off with MVP. Who you got tonight?
Perfect, because I actually only have one on my list. Could be the first time this person's received MVP. Viva Aviv.
Ooh, interessante.
She's still here. Like, she's doing well. I think she's exceeded expectations at this point. She was one of 4 critical players for her team for the daily. She did her job, and she's, I think, doing a good job this season. I'm very impressed. Viva Aviv.
Good pick. Alex, MVP.
My MVP, like you guys said, I don't think there's a lot of great picks. And it pains me to give this person MVP because I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm going to go with Devin.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Devin because I think he just had a lot of good things happen to him this episode. He could have lost Michelle. She came back. She won an elimination. And he could have been picked as a target because of that, or because of, obviously if Michelle loses, then somebody else is picking the targets. But like Corey is now the Era 3 target. It could have easily been Devin. He had the big birthday party for him. Just like a lot of like good things going for Devin. Again, I'm not rooting for him necessarily, but this is just like a good episode for anybody who had Devin stock.
Correct.
Good pick. My MVP tonight, and somebody who's been kind of flying under the radar a little bit, is Jordan. You're probably like, why Jordan, though?
Why Jordan, though?
Why? Yeah.
Because he won the daily. He's kept it very under the radar. The 2 people he threw in, they were eliminated. No blood on the hands. And now he's not in for the next week. And he's just slowly playing the game very well. Very sneaky.
Is this, I know we're close to the halfway point. Is this Jordan's season to lose?
I think Jordan is playing a very, very sneaky good season right now.
I do agree with that. And I think the question is a very good question. But even though there are a lot of eyes and Bananas has been involved in a good amount of the drama, it's so hard to bet against the Banana Man, in my opinion. Like, I agree. Right now, Jordan, this is Jordan's season. I think he is the one calling the shots. He's in a great position, both like from a team perspective and like an alliance perspective. It is looking like his season to lose, but it's just so hard to say that when Johnny Bananas is still in this season.
That's fair. I think Jordan though, like he still has alliances from
He
all
does.
different teams. Like he's got the Laurel, he's got the Tory, like he's kind of all over the place.
But he's in the pole position. He's definitely in pole position.
Who do you guys think are the best 3 guys left?
Jordan.
Bananas, Jordan,
Bananas,
Theo.
Okay, that's where I land too.
I mean, we're just locked in. So I know Andy and I were big Theo guys before the season started. And then
Theo, Ed from
Bananas
the
and
Circle.
Jordan speak for himself. Yeah. So, all right. So my LVP, I think there's only one way I can go LVP tonight, and that's going to be Era One. Era One is a disgrace to the show. Like, you guys are so bad. They are terrible. And the fact that Double went home tonight and now you only have 2 people remaining with 3 legs, like just terrible.
Mark Long was on this season.
CT,
What were they thinking?
CT went home before these clowns. It hurts me. It really does hurt me to watch. Like, these people that we grew up watching are old and they suck. Whoa.
Trev, I think that's a great pick, and that's where I was going to go with mine. So I do just want to add on to yours real quick. Era One is definitely an LVP of tonight, and I think honestly, like we're 7 episodes deep now. My weak link of this season, like if any of you have seen Pulp Fiction, we all know the weak link of that movie is Butch's girlfriend. In an otherwise great movie, there's a ton of moving parts, but she is the weak link. If you're looking at season 40, there's a ton of great things to dissect, great storylines, cast members, but overall, the weak link I think of season 40 has been like the way Era One has played out, because what it's done is it's like just removed a lot of the potential drama from these decisions, because since episode 3, really, because the first 2 were the invitational, since episode 3, it's been Era 2, Era 3, Era 4. They're winning. They're not getting last most of the time. They're calling the shots. They're making alliances with each other. And Era 1 is either getting directly in last place, or like they're at this point they're so small that even if they don't get last place, like they're an easy target. And it's just removed a lot of like intrigue from the season. Like there's a world where we're 7 episodes deep here, and Era 1 has, instead of fucking 2 people left, they have like 6 people left. And maybe Era 2 has 6 people and Era 4 has 6 people, and it's a little more evenly spread out. And I just think like it's been kind of a weak link of this season, like having this like punching bag era that just has never punched back.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so bad. There's been no entertainment. They're reasonable people. I mean, they're fucking 40 years old. They've been reasonable, no drama. There's been back injuries, multiple back injuries, leg injuries, because they're just old people. They should not be doing this shit. Let me throw this hypothetical out there. Era 2 is Era 1. You trim Derek, you add in a CT, for instance. Era 3 becomes Era 2. Era 4 becomes Era 3. And then the new Era 4 is all fresh meat.
So you're almost saying
Pop
this.
out the geriatrics and get in a group of people who have never played this before, but usher in a new era.
I don't hate that.
Would they be still the biggest targets?
Yeah.
Yes. Just like Era 1 was. Would they add 10 times more drama? Yes. Would they be able to be way more competitive? Also, yes. It's a passing of the torch. Bringing them in to the eras.
What if Era 5 was their kids?
God.
Then it becomes real dicey. Could you imagine Ryder throwing Corey into an elimination? Sorry, Pops. Ryder versus Corey, headbanger.
Ryder dies.
Come on. All right, LVP. Who's up? Andy, are you up, LVP?
I started.
No, LVP.
Have you given yours?
Wait,
Yes.
I think it's Alex.
no, it's me. I think
I think Alex went, right?
You said Era 1.
God, I'm laying something up to you, and you just missed it.
All right, so my LVP for tonight is
All right, Alex.
My LVP. I was gonna go Era 1. Since I can't, I'm gonna go with Ryan.
Oh.
He was just kind of an annoying little person to have on tonight's episode. And I would venture to think that this was his first time getting an LVP for us, just because he's never fucking done this show. If you're going to go through 7 episodes and not make any sort of impact on the show, positive or negative, then just shut up. Like, I'm sorry, but just shut up and let everybody else do the drama.
like Derek.
Like Derek. Yeah, Derek was in the room. He shut up. And now he's a target, but I'm just going to go with my LVP for Ryan tonight.
Very good pick. All right, Trev, LVP.
You're up.
I'm up.
Enough. I'm not gonna lie, Andy. I just see an LVP in the chart right now that I kind of like.
Fuck that.
Why not?
Doesn't deserve it.
Doesn't deserve it. It's below that.
Yes.
LLVP.
God. No, I like this LVP. I honestly, the first LVP that jumped out to me is still available, but I'm not going to take that person. I'm going LVP as the format. We are at a point in time after episode 7. The format needs to change. The format is fucking things up. Like, the format is a very big reason why Era 1 is decimated. Era 1 is certainly to blame as well. But the format, like, it was great. It was fine. But Era 1 was hurt in the daily as a result. They now only have 2 people left. You also have someone like Ginny, who we've talked about, who's like, just the way that it's set up, that's just like, I hate it now. I liked it at the start, but we're at that point where we need to change. It's being detrimental to a team, Era 1. It's detrimental to people, a la Ginny, for instance. Like, it just doesn't make sense right now, and it needs to be changed.
I mean, it's going to have to change with Era 1. They can't compete with 2 people, right?
I don't know. That's why the format's fucked right now. That's what I'm saying.
Anything else? MVP, LVP tonight. Honorable mentions?
You have to mention Darrell.
As what? MVP or LVP?
Are you kidding me? LVP, like, I wanted to take that so bad. He gave it away. He literally gave it away.
I understand, but let me ask you this. And here's a question for STP. Actual seasons, not spinoffs. Is this the last time Darrell's on our TV screen?
Actual seasons.
Actual seasons, no spinoffs. I'd say yes.
I
yes.
agree.
Okay.
Part of me thinks no, just because like why the hell is he even doing this stuff anyways? Because like he's better than this. Just retire, work an actual job. But he keeps coming on here a little bit, keeps tickling the ball sack. And I think the kind of straw that breaks the camel's back is actually the straw that broke his back. Because he, after like the first episode, he was like, oh, my back's on fire. I can barely move. It's like, yeah, dude, you're old. Just stop. I think this was the realization for that.
Alex, anything?
Does anybody remember who Darrell beat in elimination this season?
Tony.
Yeah, Tony time.
Talking about giving one away.
Mm-hmm.
Darrell might have taken a page out of Tony's cookbook.
On that note, anything else from tonight's EP?
I think we need a good episode next week.
I think so too.
Right.
I'm very shaky. I don't want to say we're in a dream yet, but we're getting close.
We're getting the tired eyes a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm shaky yet, but I'm getting close to being shaky.
I'm just shaky.
Okay.
Like I'm at that point, like especially like back when you were in school and you're sitting in class and you're just kind of like doing some of these a little bit, and like you're just kind of waking up, but you're not fully asleep. That's when you need to just like slam some books on the table and just wake up. That's what we need here. I'm still excited for next week's episode, but if we have another episode like we had tonight, I think by this time, tail end of STP next week, I'm not going to be excited for the following week.
Yeah, I think we're in that time where we're monitoring week to week. And I think regardless of what happens with Era 1, within the next 4 weeks, I would guess we're going to have some sort of format change. And like that's going to give us a spark no matter what it is. So we just have to have a few good episodes until that point. Until
I know.
pivots.
But I'm getting very sleepy, and like I'm more along than you guys are. I'm to the point now where it's like I might have like passed out for like 15 minutes, and then next thing you know, I just hear this on the TV, and I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? I think that's the vibe I'm at right now. Like then I just jolt up and I'm like, all right, let's get locked in.
You're like waking up at 3 a.m. hearing that.
Yes. It's like I'm slowly dying, and then it's just boom, it hits you, but I'm like wide awake again. Honestly, that is a top 3 thing of your childhood that scared the living shit out of you. That, the THX logo before like a Disney movie, Pixar movie or whatever, like how loud that shit was. That scared me to death.
What else?
I don't know.
We can save it for another pod.
Yeah,
We'll do a Mount Rushmore.
If we did a Mount Rushmore of that, honestly, too, probably the third thing is if I'm in a game of Mario Party, getting a hidden block and everybody around you is cheering Dark Star, and you just pray for that 1 second that you don't get a Dark Star. There's nothing worse than 3 other of your friends just screaming at you, Dark Star, Dark Star. It's scary. So on that note, thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys.